That was a crazy fourth quarter at Baylor, huh?
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, it was we knew we were gonna have to play 60 minutes in that game, and we knew it was gonna go down the wire. We knew there was a really good program at home, and team that had won 6 straight Big 12 games, and team that was really a Hail Mary away from playing in the Big 12 title game last year. So it was a good football team. So
how about their receivers just not getting on top of your DBs, especially with how much man that you guys played early?
Yeah, I mean, our guys did a really good job of executing the game plan. Really only had one bust the whole game, and and it was and we had to pay for it, and that's what happens against good offenses. And just overall, that was our whole plan, is to make these guys go the long, hard way and play situational defense, and our guys executed the game plan. And it just depends on the offense that we're seeing. Like, how are we going to play that offense? And the offenses that we've seen the last couple of weeks have really required us to play that brand of football.
How about getting the 3 takeaways? That had to feel good to see that finally come to fruition when you've been working on that so hard.
Yeah, I mean, you get what you emphasize, and that's something we just saw after the first 3 weeks. We had a lot of opportunities, a lot of tip passes, a lot of tip balls. We have more PBUs right now, I think, than we had through 10 games last season, just in terms of us challenging routes. So we're like right there. We're way ahead of where we were sack-wise last year, and hitting the quarterback and affecting the quarterback. So, like I said, it's once you crack that, they start to come, and hopefully we've crossed that bridge. But we're not going to let up on emphasizing that. And sometimes they come in waves, and that's what happened on Saturday.
What do you think you learned about this team kind of from that Baylor game?
That the process is everything, and the outcomes take care of themselves. And whenever things go good, you go, okay, we got to reemphasize those good things and continue to hammer into concrete those, whether the fundamentals, schematics, checks, whatever we're doing. But also, like, when we make mistakes, for us coaches, and players to look inwardly and just go, hey, okay, here's what we got to do. This is the looks that we're getting, and even though we may be getting those looks during the week, are we getting enough of those looks so we can practice? And so when the moment comes, we can just respond and react rather than have to think about it. And in that moment we have to think and hesitate, that's when you end up one step behind and the other team making plays on you.
Coach, what have you thought of CJ's performance to this part of the season so far?
He's just CJ Fight. It's funny, you can look at guys, and Coach Dillingham alluded to it post-practice, and it's couldn't be more applicable cumulatively and individually, in this program. You look at the guys, how they respond and their habits and how they approach each day. You can look down 10, 15 years from now and know exactly what their life's going to look like. And CJ is one of those guys. Like, no matter what he does, just because of his habits, how he carries himself, if he continues to be that person and continue to grow, he's going to be very successful in whatever he does. But I mean, I've coached very few great football players. Actually, I don't think I've ever coached a great player that wasn't a good person and didn't have, good to great character. You know what I'm saying? And I think those things go hand in hand.
Coach Keith has been one of the guys that's been around pretty much your entire tenure here. What level is he reaching right now, and what level do you think he can reach still?
Man, you're talking about two of the most consistent guys on and off the field in our whole program. And not to speak for the offense, but I know defense, you don't have any higher character or just consistent just in terms of their approach to everything. Good things happen, bad things happen. I mean, he gets a pass interference, it's a little bit questionable. He's pretty sticky in that coverage. He comes back, he gets a pick, the following quarter. And he's just a guy who just understands. He just, if something goes wrong, he's the type of guy who's going to, okay, well, here's what I got to do better the next time. And he's just, his best football is ahead of him. The longer he plays this game, the better and better he's going to get. And the same with CJ. It's because of their habits that's going to determine their outcomes.
Coach, Kendrick has stepped in and made some big plays over the last couple weeks. I believe a couple pass breakups and that forced fumble in the first quarter. Just how positive an impact has he made on the program in this short time here?
Kendrick's been awesome, and his mom texts me every once in a while, and I'll just tell her, like, we're just so happy he's in our program, and I couldn't say that with more meaning and emphasis. He's been great to coach, and he cares so much. He's an intrinsically competitive dude. Gets down on himself a little bit, but but in a good way. Like, he responds the right way. And Kendrick's best football is ahead of him, and the more reps he gets in our system, the better he's going to become. He's becoming an extra sticky man coverage guy, and I'd argue he's one of the best guys we've had since we've been here. Just playing that man coverage, he's only getting better. By the end of the year, I think he'll be the best we've had since we've been here. So at that nickel position, he's playing outstanding right now.
When you look at the TCU offense, it reminds you more of Mississippi State, more of Baylor, or just unique in their own way?
They're unique in their own way. Their offensive coordinator, he and I have butted heads before. You got to be ready for everything. I think we played them in 2019, and they came out with something that they hadn't repped all year. I think it was like the 8th game of the season, and he literally lived in that, and we weren't prepared for it. So he's the type of guy you got to be prepared for everything. He's going to see something that maybe sees a weakness, and he's going to exploit that. He's also going to run the same plays. That if something got us beat, okay, he's going to run a version of that same play, and maybe not the same look. He's going to get to that play though, and so he's one of the best. He's one of the best around. You can see it by the stats. I mean, he really is, and he does a great job.
What kind of challenges does Josh Hoover present?
I don't know if we've seen a quarterback like him since 23 with that murderer's row of quarterbacks that we saw that year with Penix and Nix and Cam Ward, and there was just, we had like 6 or 7 quarterbacks that were NFL guys. So he's definitely an NFL guy. He's the best guy we've seen in the Big 12 since we've been in the Big 12. He just deals it. He has a lot of moxie. He gets a lot of help from that offensive coordinator. Okay, he talks to him, and you can tell because some of the throws that he makes are, and the reads and the progressions that he goes through is like, no, that's not a progression. He knows exactly where he's going with the ball. So, but he just does it, and it's kind of cool because you see the working relationship that the quarterback's coach, offensive coordinator, and the quarterback have together because he totally trusts in it, and he's really, really good. He can extend the plays with his legs, and like I said, he's the best we've seen since we've been in the Big 12.
After the game against Baylor, Keith Abney, when asked about his interception, talked about how it was you putting him in a position to succeed. What was that communication during the game like with him, and just saying that he was ready for that moment and executing?
All you got to do is say one thing to Keith, and you say it in the shortest way possible. And he's a guy that he's literally going to digest every single word you say. So if you give him too much information, he doesn't do well with that. If you say it as clean and simple as you can make it, he's going to digest it and do it verbatim. So he's a joy to coach. He really is. And our corners coaches, D-Walk, BC, do a great job with him getting those guys prepared. And I'm just spoken the wheel with that guy. It's 51% the player, and even more so with Keith Abney.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.